will share with us today his presentation, Math Study and Research. So please help me welcome Dr. Jian Shen.
Thank you, Shen. Thank Tiger, thank organizers, and all of the volunteers for your great work that makes this possible. It's a great honor for me to be here. And today I'm going to talk about the math study and research. And this is just a quick introduction about myself. Since Shen has already talked about lots of things, I'm going to skip that part. So, and this is a picture of my 2009 research team with 3 high school students. And this team won the national champion at the Simmons competition. And they also get the 100,000 scholarship. And those 3 team members were accepted by MIT immediately. So I'm so proud of them. Next one. And this is my team were invited to ring the closing bell for New York Stock Exchange. And this is, I can tell you that this is a once in a lifetime experience. I'm so grateful to New York Stock Exchange, and I'm so grateful to the students. And this is a little bit about myself. I'm a distance runner for maybe 35 or maybe 40 years. And even if right now I'm still running, even if I don't run as much as I used to run, and I don't run as fast as I used to run, but that was a picture about 20 years ago in 2003, when I finished the Austin Marathon in 3 hours and 35 minutes. And when I finished that on that day, I wrote some words on that picture. That's what I usually do. So some of my pictures, I wrote something on that, just try to remind myself. And basically, I want to tell myself that I want to do something that I want to do. I want to dream that I want to make a dream that I want. And I always tell myself that my life, I can only live once. If there's an opportunity, I should go ahead and pursue it. That's basically all about me. And I have been doing like that in the past many, many years. Next slide. So today I'm going to talk about a little bit about the research. And I know that many students have taken the math competition this morning. And so this is a little bit different from math competition, because when you do math competition, basically it's a competition. You want to win, right? And you want to make the USA team for IMO, because there's only 6 people there. How can you do that? You have to compete with other people. But now, here's a different thing, where you could do a math research. When you do research, we value teamwork, we value collaboration with other people. So it's totally different. And why do I want to do that? Well, just because when we grow up, we know that in our life, there are many, many times we need to collaborate with people, not just compete with people. For example, you need to cooperate with your teammate. When you work, we need to cooperate with your co-workers, and even at home, we need to cooperate with the family members, husband and wife, and we need to keep that a good relationship. And so we know all of that. Okay, so here I want to share with some of my personal experience of my working with high school students at the Texas State University and also at the DSM Academy. So first, what kind of students should apply for summer research with professors? In my opinion, well, I could be wrong, but here's what my summary about those students. In my opinion, I think students should be independent, self-motivated. Why? Just because when you do research, it's different from your math competition problem. For any math competition problem, you know that there's always an answer there. So if you don't get out, it's just because something was wrong, and just continue to work. Eventually, you will get the answer. But when you do the research, it's totally different, because we don't know the answer yet. The mentor may not know the answer. You don't know the answer. I don't know the answer either. And so that just requires some independent work, right? You can't always ask me, oh, what should I do? Well, I don't know. What should you do? And you know, what should you do? So maybe you should go back and to work again, maybe go to the library to try to dig some other papers and read. So I value the independence and self-motivation are not when we choose students. And also I want some of the property for student. The student should should be curious about doing research, because again, it's the same reason. We work for a problem maybe for a long time and don't get the answer. And from my personal experience, I worked for some hard conjectures for years and didn't get anything. And that's okay. You should be fine with that, because even if you don't get something, on the other hand, you get something from some other part. I'm going to tell you later. So also we want the student to be fast learner, because for summer research, we have only like 6 weeks, sometimes 2 months or 3 months. And at the beginning, everyone is at the same line, right? No one knows what the research result will be. But after a couple of weeks, some students know better than some other people. And so if you're a fast learner, you should apply for summer research. Next. All right, how to form a team? Well, first, and it's very important to find a mentor. And usually the mentor will be a professor at a university. Why do we need a mentor? Just because the mentor knows a lot and knows much deeper in research, and the mentor will assign you a project. Usually the problem, from my experience, I would like to assign a project with some big history, with some big name attached to that. For example, it's a problem raised by Paul Ehrlich. You may not know that person, but Paul Ehrlich is a great mathematician, and everyone in the math community knows that. So if you have a problem attached to Paul Ehrlich, that's a good problem and can catch everyone's eye. But we know that you cannot solve the problem by Ehrlich. We have some idea. Okay, we can show you how to solve the problem for special case, or maybe make the problem easier. So we are going to change the problem a little bit easier so that it's suitable for high school students. So that's one part. And another part is that where one student cannot do the research by him or herself, you need to find a couple of people working with you together. Ideally, 3 people we will form a team of 3. So you're going to find someone who has the same interest with you, and work hard and work together. Yeah. And the next one is what can I get from the summer research? Where I can hear you, there are lots of things you can get. First, you can get the idea of how to do research. And that's usually you don't get that in your high school. So when you work with a professor, and basically you're just like a graduate student, because even for undergraduate students, they may not have much opportunity to work with professors for doing research. So if you have that chance, you should go ahead, and you just get the experience of doing research as a graduate student, or even as a PhD student. And the second part is a research project. After your work, you can write something, write down as a written report. And that report can be put somewhere in the internet. Sometimes the paper may not be publishable. It's okay. In a rare case, some papers can be publishable. And in the past years, some of my papers with students actually were published in some very good journals. And also you can learn how to do a presentation, the research presentation at some conferences or some research science fair. And also you know how to do a collaboration. As I say that in the teamwork, it's very important to do the collaboration, not doing the competition. So if the team is successful, then everyone is a winner. And another thing I would like to say that from the many years of experience working at Texas State University with students, those students, when they leave the summer camp, they don't just say, oh, that's it, I don't connect with people. And they're actually keep on contacting with students, with their team members for long time, even if they go to university, they get a job, they start their family, and they still keep that long-term friendship. And this kind of friendship is very important. For example, when the student graduate from the school and they want to search for a job, and then they may say, oh, I know someone from the camp, and so I'm looking for a job, can you help me? And then there's another friend say, oh, here, come here to work with me. Or if you want to start some business later on, you cannot do it by yourself. You need some friends, and these are the friends you can recruit later on. Next page, please. And here's my contact information. The first 9 is my Texas State email address. The second one is my DSM Academy address. And for DSM Academy, we are, next page, please. We like to offer some free courses to students. Actually, this tradition started last summer due to COVID, and many students had to stay at home. So last year, I offered 3 free courses for everyone. And this semester, this summer, I decided to do the same thing, but the courses may be different. So I choose the following 3 courses. The first one is for logic sense. This is for 4th-year students. Basically, we just talk about some logical thinking. It's related to mathematics, but not just the mathematical computing. So we are talking about the logic, it's a thinking. And the second is for 5th graders, it's for geometrical sense. So it's not the formal geometry, but we ask you, to how to think in a geometrical way. So for example, for many of the textbooks, they only teach the student how to find the area of the parallelogram. It's a base times the height. But not many people tell the student why. So I'm going to show the student why we have to have the formula like that. So we don't give you the formula. We just ask the student to go from that to derive, to get the formula by themselves. The last one is called the book reading. And this year, I choose the following book. It's written by Terry Stoll, the greatest, one of the greatest mathematician, and he's a fierce Marxist, and everyone knows that. And use this book again. It's not just for solving a problem. It's just not working on the problem. That's not my purpose. My purpose is to show a student how to think. The thinking is more important than solving a problem. So it will be a great summer. Thank you. So there's the registration link here, and I think that's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Shen. I may not understand your math research papers at the college level, but I'm very impressed by your passion, expertise, and achievement in teaching and mentoring middle school and high school students. So I also admire that you can still run marathon. Well, we are now here